The lease of immovable property deal with section 105 transfer of property act 1882. The essential ingredients of immovable property: the parties, the subject matter, the expressed or implied contract, the transfer of right to enjoyment, the duration of lease, and the consideration, the registration. The parties must be at least two parties, and subject matter, that is a lease, must be an immovable property as defined under section 3 of Act, and the express or implied of the contract, it must be either an express or implied agreement to enjoy the property between the parties, and the transfer of right to enjoyment, there must be transfer of right to enjoyment but not right to ownership. And the duration of lease, the lease must be made in certain time, it may be for a fixed time or in a perpetuity. The consideration either premium or a rent, any payment by the leasee shall be treated as a rent. And the registration of lease, according section 107, the registration is compulsory following lease from year to year, and lease for a term exceeding 1 year, lease reserving a yearly rent, lease which is a permanent in nature. Registration is optional for the following leases: lease for 1 month to month, lease for a term of 1 year, lease for a term of a less than 1 year. And rights and liabilities of the leaser and leasee. Leaser means ఎవరైతే ప్రాపర్టీ ఓనరో ఆయన లీజరు. లీజీ మీన్స్ ఎవరైతే లీజు ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయబడుతుందో అంటే ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ చేసే వ్యక్తి లీజీ. సో ఈ యొక్క రైట్స్ సెక్షన్ 108 TPA Act 1882. So rights of leaser and liabilities of leaser. In the same way, rights of leasee, liabilities of leasee. The leaser have a right to receive a rent. Leaser have a right to restore possession. Leaser has to disclose a material defects. Leaser has to put the leasee in possession. Leaser has to covenant for the quit enjoyment. Leasee can enjoy a accretion for the property. Accretion means growth. Leasee can avoid a lease in case of destruction. Leasee can receive the cost of the repairs. Leasee can deduct the tax from the rent paid. Leasee can remove and take the fixtures. Leasee can remove and take a benefit of crops. Leasee can assign his interest in lawful manner. Leasee can disclose a fact of increasing value. Leasee can rent as a permanent agreement. Leasee have a maintain the property. Leasee has to give a notice of encroachment. Leasee has to use the property reasonably. Leasee has not to erect a permanent structure. A leasee has to restore possession. Leasee has no duty to disclose the parent defects. Leasee can recover the value of the term in case of eviction. Leasee can recover the cost of any structure he may have erected. Leaser can restoration of possession in the original condition. Leasee can make a minor alteration without damaging leased property. And the distinction between the license and lease. Lease, it is a transfer an interest. License, it does not pass any interest. Lease, it is a transferable. License, it is not a transferable. Lease, it is not a recoverable. License, it can recoverable. Lease, it requires registration. License, it does not require registration. Lease, it is a heritable. License, it is not a heritable. Lease, it is a right in rem. License, it is a right in personam. Lease, it can be terminated. License, it can be lease, it cannot be terminated, and license, it can be terminated. Lease, it grants a exclusive position. License, it does not grant a position. డిటర్మినేషన్ ఆఫ్ లీజ్ అంటే లీజ్ ఎప్పుడు అంతమైపోతుంది. Termination of lease may be expiry of time. Termination of lease may be by happening of an event. Termination of lease may be by a termination. Termination of lease may by a merger. Termination of lease may be by a surrender. Termination of lease may be by a forfeiture. Termination of lease may be by breach of express condition. Termination of lease may be denial of landlord titles. Termination of lease may be insolvency of the licensee. Termination of lease may be expired of notice to quit. Exchange nature and scope, it is dealt under section 118 to 121 Transfer of Property Act 1882. The exchange also absolute transfer of ownership like a sales. The difference between the sales and exchange is the consideration. In sales, money is the consideration in one part, but in exchange, kind. Property will be the consideration from the both parties in exchange. Each party has a right and is subject to the liabilities of seller. Each party has the rights and is a subject to the liabilities of buyer. Every party enjoy the both buyer rights and seller rights. Section 55 deal with the rights and liabilities of a sellers and buyers. The same can be applicable to the parties to exchange also. The gift dealt with section 122 to 129 Transfer of Property Act 1882. The difference between sales and gift. Sales is exchange of price. Gift is made without price. Sales is consideration is money. Gift is the consideration is nil. Sales is the money is exchange. Gift is no exchange of money. The gift is a revocation of gift and onerous gift. Essential of ingredients of valid gift. There must be two parties, donor and donee. Ownership must be transferred. The gift property must be existence at the time of transfer. Gift must have been made voluntarily. Consent must not influenced by the coercion, undue influence and fraud. The transfer must be made without consideration. Gift must be accepted by donee during the lifetime of donor. So, remind points. Gift is covered under section 122, 129 of Act 1882. Gift essentially need two parties. Person who make gift is a donor. Person who accept the gift is a donee. Acceptance must be made during the lifetime of the donor. Acceptance must be made while he is still capable of giving. If the donee dies before accepting, the gift is void. In gift, ownership must be transferred. The gift property must be existence at the time of transfer. Gift must have been made voluntarily. Consent must not influenced by the coercion, undue influence and fraud. The transfer must be made without consideration. Gift must be accepted by the donee during the lifetime of donor. Gift must be accepted by donee during the lifetime of donor. The general rule is that duly completed gift cannot be revoked. Onerous gift is the gift with all liabilities. Who receive the benefit and he must bear the burden also. Donee is personally liable for all debt due to by liabilities of donor.